now, nearly 5,000 children are in foster care in Oregon. And while those children face many difficulties, LGBTQ+ children in foster care face some unique challenges.
One group, Unicorn Solutions, is working with many other organizations to help fill the gaps and get members of the LGBTQ+ community involved with fostering children. And joining us more to talk about this is Elliot Orn-Hinkle, the founder of Unicorn Solutions and lead organizer of Fostering Pride. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
What are some of the unique challenges that LGBTQ+ kids face when it comes to foster care?
Yeah, so trying to be themselves might not always be accepted or even understood. The families that they come from might have rejected them, or they might have experienced houselessness or other things. So with that trauma and or with their identities, it's just helpful to have folks who are able to support them and understand where they're coming from and can affirm them and say, like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're exactly who you're supposed to be. And so that's really important to us, yeah.
So where do you step in? How does your organization help, and how can you identify people that can also help these kids in this situation?
Yeah, so I grew up in foster care, so a lot of this work for me is very personal. And so what we do is we put on an event and make sure that the community, especially the LGBTQ community, but anyone knows that we're hosting an event and you can learn more about becoming a resource or foster parent. Just to get that basic information of how do I sign up, what do I do, even if it's just to attend the event to learn a little bit more and plant the seed, that's fine. You can come to as many as you want until you feel ready to step up to the plate.
How do you find a good fit?
Yeah, so I think part of it is figuring out that people need to know the actual, like, what does it mean to be a resource parent? So that real. So we have youth and resource parents and ODHS speak at our event, so people can understand that it's not always sunshine and rainbows. There may be challenges. I think sometimes that can help filter out folks to say, do you have free time and flexible schedule? Are you patient? Can you take in multiple youth? Those sort of things help to weed out people. And then, of course, there's background checks. There's a whole certification process to really be a resource family.
Makes a lot of sense. Okay, you do have an event coming up. You touched on it a little bit just now, but dive into that. When is it, and what can people expect from it exactly?
Yeah. So tonight at 6 p.m., folks can join us on Zoom. You can register if you go to basicrights.org or find us on social media. And at that event, folks will be able to hear from youth who have been experiencing foster care, who are LGBTQ. They'll hear from resource families. They'll also hear from Greater Oregon Behavioral Health, Morrison Family Services, and Oregon ODHS to really find out what's this all about and how do we get started. And at the end of the event, there'll be a little bit of time to ask questions as well.
Great.
Yeah, do you have any idea of what the numbers are? I mean, how many of these young people are looking for foster care?
Yeah, so there's about under 5,000 youth in Oregon's foster care system right now, recently. And the amount of placements, I think, sits around like 1,800. And so that means we need more placements. Now, some placements can take multiple youth. There's a lot of different arrangements. There's families who are kinship caregivers versus resource families that don't know that child. So the need is high, and it's kind of always been there, but it's really helpful to have this intentional recruitment to say some youth also are really going to need a family that really gets them.
What would you say to somebody who is maybe thinking about being a foster parent or thinking about researching being a foster parent? What is something you would tell that person?
I think it's just worth giving it a shot. If you really feel like in your gut you want to try it out, it's worth taking that chance. Usually your community steps up to support you, and you get so much more out of it. Even if there's a challenge or anything like that, you get so much reward out of just getting to be a part of that young person's life.
All right. Thank you so much, Elliot Orn-Hinkle, founder of Unicorn Solutions and lead organizer of Fostering Pride. The meeting for Fostering Pride this evening at 6 o'clock, and you can find a link to sign up for the Zoom meeting at coin.com.
All right. 7:21 right now.